Okay, so welcome to day 3. I appreciate you. I celebrate you. Thank you for putting in the work. I know it's not easy, and I know we have, but that's why it's a boot camp. Like, we push it, bum, 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 and then you now have the rest of the time to now start regurgitating it like a ruminant would do, and then start chewing on it one after the other, and then considering, okay, now I have an idea what it takes from A to Z. Am I able to pull A to Z off right now, given my current circumstance? Or do I just need to, what's the word now? Do I just need to focus on one part that is reachable or feasible for me right now? Okay, so that's where we'll now need to go and see, right? Yeah. So we now need to come to terms with that, or make that decision to say, okay, is this what I want to do from A to Z? Am I able to put on A to Z? Hi, Dorothy, good to see you. Are you putting on a green top? No, okay. All right. Sometimes when you use the virtual background and you have a green color top, it just makes it transparent because it's supposed to be green screen at your back, so it doesn't make it solid. Yeah. All right. So I would like to just kind of measure the temperature of the room. So far we've done day 1, day 2. So you already have an idea of the introduction, and then narration. From the narration part of it, what do you think? Do you think, I want to hear from, anybody who wants to talk, maybe 1 or 2 people who would like to share. What are your thoughts already? Like, what are you thinking already with regards to this audiobook journey? What do you think? Can you share? Do you care to share? Anybody?
Yeah. Initially, I had an open mind to this, but as at yesterday, when we were done, I was like, this is going to be a long journey. It's not what I expected. I was thinking, okay, just come learn about diction, how to pronounce your words, and I don't know. That was my just basic perception that I had, but listening to you yesterday and all that we've learned, and then not like I'm scared. I'm not scared. It's doable because you are doing it. And for you to reach out to others to say, join me in this journey, it's doable. And, but on the other hand, my take is, why would I want to just narrow myself to narrating, as in when I can actually plunge to do all depending on my schedule, or maybe part time. If the need is there, why not? So last night I was like, this could actually be something that will make me okay. And the next 1, 2 years, like forget 9 to 5 and focus on it as a business. Uh, that's my take. And it's quite interesting for me. Uh, I I wouldn't say I'm afraid. I'm not afraid, but it's going to be a long journey. But having capable family with you encouraging us to collaborate, because personally I'm more into collaboration. I believe in the strength, as in pulling strength together to achieve whatever you want to achieve, especially in this era. So I'm like, I'm not alone. If I can't do this, I'll pull Coach EJ. Hey, this is where I'm thinking. Can you help me out? Or but then on the other hand, I must say I admire a lot of people. Some voices when I was listening to the homework, I was like, oh my God, Dorothy, you better not send in your own. But it's doable, and I really appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing. Absolutely, it is doable. And that's the mindset that you should go with. But actually just knowing and accepting that, oh, well, it is doable. But I like the fact that you said that to say, okay, it might not be immediately, but definitely it is doable. And I'm going to figure or factor it into my current timing and see how I can grow with it. So I love, like you just said, you know what, I'll give myself 1 to 2 years, and that's a great plan. But now you know that, okay, this is going to probably take a lot, because you want to go the whole 9 yard, looking at it like, okay, why should I restrict myself to just one portion of it if I can go the whole yard, right? So you're like, okay, now I know. I can then segregate my day and say, I'm going to focus on this for this day, focus on this, and you'll be shocked. And thank you for also mentioning, because this is what I want us to also have at the back of our mind, the community. It is important. Never, ever think that you are alone. Never. You are never alone. And of course, it will come to you. And that's why I said, see, first things first, you need to just love your voice the way it is. I kid you not, I've been told before that I sound like a masquerade. And I wasn't told personally. I was told in the community of people. We were in choir practice. So you can imagine the embarrassment, right? Of course, everybody laughed at it. I also laughed. But I didn't know how much that thing hit me. Till years later, I actually discovered that I ran away from singing for a very long time. Like, I was still singing in church and doing all that, but I had a bigger dream about singing. I actually wanted to be a musician. Like, I want to be a singer. Like, I see myself on stage. And I know that years back, when I'm on stage in church, I know what God does through this vessel. So I know I'm a vessel. But that thing did something to me. And this was maybe about 15 or 16 years ago, right? It did something to me, like, your voice is bad. Better keep quiet. If people are singing, don't be counting yourself among musicians. But I kept singing. I still kept singing and all of that. And then I even, after that, but for a while, it's actually affected me. I didn't even know. It was later, I'm like, what's going on here? I know. I've even had prophecies, that ministers will come and say, girl, if you just stay with this, like you have a ministry here, you are blessed. But like, I know. I hear you say, I know I'm blessed. But it held me down for a while. It was only, later on as I started to, know myself more, embrace myself. I will still sing and people will still be like, wow, you have a very unique voice, right? So it was now like unique. Okay, I have a unique voice. I went for Sunday's Best. I can't remember the year now. I went for Sunday's Best audition when Kirk Franklin and Donnie McCauley came to Nigeria back then. And I actually got to the second stage, right? But it didn't pull through. So that one I still push me back again, saying your voice is not like, people like you they're looking for. But see how God works. Just so you know that, see, if you feel like there is something inside of you calling for this area, don't shut it down because you heard somebody else's voice and it felt like their voice sounds better than yours. Don't shut it down. There is something about your own voice. I might not have sang, but of course, I released a couple of singles. So I have a couple of singles, right? And there was the one that I know really, started ministering to people a lot was I Will Get There, when I released, because that one was written out of a place of reality. I wrote that song in 2005. I didn't release it until 2017, right? 2016, 2017, right? But then I know that this singing thing, it might come back again. But I think God just wanted me to know that this voice I've given to you is a tool. It's a blessing that I've given to you without repentance. So whether you sing with it or you speak with it, you are going to use your voice. And so if I look at it in retrospect now, it could be the reason why I held on to this vision of audiobooks for African authors, even when it feels like I'm failing woefully at it as a business person. But here I am, I'm now in terms with it. Like, I love my voice. I love my person. I love my appearance. So I love the screen. My love for screen has just made me fall in love. Whether I look, I know I'm made for the screen. I know my voice is something to be reckoned with. Even if they say it's not allowed in singing, don't worry, I would speak. I would teach. I would narrate, right? So don't feel Don't even be intimidated, and don't allow imposter syndrome to get to you at all on this journey. Even if they've told you before that as a woman, you sound like a man, let it be. There is a place for your voice. If they've told you before as a woman, as a grown-up woman, like, why are you sounding like a child? Let it be. Just go look for references. Go look for references. In Nigeria, there's Helen Paul. And that was what blew her. She speaks like a child. Like she can mimic a child's voice. And that's how big brands will get her to do adverts for them. Because she can articulate it and she can sound like a child, right? So your voice, is, like I said, yes, it's a DNA. It's unique to you. And so it has a role to play. Unless deep down within your heart, you know that this line is not something you want to explore at all, then you can let it go. But if there's something, even if it is tiny, that is saying to you, you know what, I think I can do something with my voice, don't let it go. Just give it time and then look for all the possible avenue that you can use it and use it. Even if you don't get a popular area that people accept, there is still something that you'll be able to look at and see, right? Thank you, Ms. Bralade. So good to have you here. All right, so don't be intimidated at all. Be comfortable with your voice. The first time, if this class was the first time you recorded your voice and listened to it again, I can assure you, you feel terrible. You'll be like, ew, this is how I sound. Like, no way, this is not how I sound. Yes, because you don't hear yourself. We hear you. Okay, so when you record and you hear yourself, that's when you hear how you sound to other people. All right. So what you want to do with that now is, if you don't particularly like it, what you can do is now begin to imagine, what do you want to sound like, and then work towards it. But remember, it's not about accent. It's about clarity. So make sure that whatever it is, be comfortable with yourself, except if you really think you are great at it. It's a gift. It could be a gift. It could be a gift. It could be a talent. To be able to mimic accent, it's a talent, and it will come in handy in this space. So if you are gifted to mimic people, then yes, you can start learning how other people sound and mimic them, because it's going to come in handy. One day there'll be a story that has different characters from different parts of the world, and you'll be able to fit into that character because you know how to mimic well. So, like, seriously, there's nothing that God gave to us that is a waste. Nothing, absolutely nothing. So never discount anything that is unique to you. And that's especially your voice. The same way it is your face, it is your voice. Just find where it works. I know that, like I mentioned on the group, if I shared with you some work I did earlier, 2014, 2015, you will run away, because my voice wasn't like this. It sounded so manly. My voice was manly. It's out of use and knowing, okay, this is the way I want to sound. I started, working towards it and sounding that way. So that is possible as well. It will only take time and dedication, all right? So this is just to cheer you up. Don't feel bad that, oh, I didn't sound well. But the important thing is your clarity and your delivery, making sure that you're interpreting the work on ground or the script on ground properly, all right? So one more time, I want to appreciate each and every one of you for giving it a shot. I celebrate you, okay? And now, I remember when I listened to that of Michelle, she wasn't feeling good, and you can hear it in her voice. So you should pay attention to that as well. Like, when you're not feeling good, know that it's going to show in your voice. Whoever is listening to you will pick it up, except if you have perfected the act of acting, such that you know that, hey, I'm feeling really terrible, but there is a job for me to do. So I can switch and get the job done. Until you get to that part, just know that when you're in a bad mood, it's not a good time to start recording, because it will show in your voice. It will show in your voice when you're in a bad mood and you want to interpret an exciting script. It will show if you've not practiced it correctly, if you've not practiced the art of separating, yourself, your reality from work. I mean, if you have, you can switch. There have been stories of professional VOs who were in the studio recording and they got a call that someone dear to them passed. But they were in the studio and they got to deliver on this job. They are broken on the inside, but then they still have to deliver this script that says, I'm super excited. But inside, they are like broken totally. So it's going to come with time. You'll be able to separate reality from when you get to go to the job. But for now, just know that your mood will affect the way you sound. So pay attention to it. When you are not feeling okay, don't use that time to record. Get yourself out of that mood first. Get yourself out of that mood first. In fact, so get yourself out of that mood to be in a neutral state of mind, and then go back to your script to see, okay, what is this script saying? Does it want me to be happy? Does it want me to be sad? Of course, unless if the script is saying you should be sad and you're in a sad mood, oh, that's a very good time to quickly do the job, because it's going to come naturally for you. Like, you will be so sad. The person listening to you will be sad as well. Like, oh my God, this is so sad. Right? So these things you need to be able to get into the flow as you work along, all right? So day 1, we started with the introduction. Day 2, we started with narration. And so please pay attention to all the vocal warm-ups. I think we should do a vocal warm-up today before we go into recording, because we're going to be recording today. What do you think? Should we do vocal warm-up today? No?
Yes,
No?
we can. It will be a good start.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. I don't want singing exercises.
Do you wish you could sing, but you're not sure where to start? Hey guys, I'm Alex G, and I've been singing for 10 years. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
Okay, so these are singing ones, but I'm just going to fast forward them to where you know what? Let's just use the one we used before, don't you think? Let's just use the one we used before, all right?
Oh, you told me about trying something new.
Huh? You want to try something new? Huh? You want to try?
Yes.
Okay, let me see. Some of the ones I'm seeing here are singing. Hold on, just give me a minute. Let me check for something. You can all see the screen, right? Yeah?
Yes, I can see the screen.
Okay.
Highly embarrassing for me and hopefully super helpful for you. You know those huge stadiums where you're just surrounded by walls of people on all sides? Yeah, one of those. I was practicing for months. I memorized my jokes, had perfect stories, knew how I was going to walk the stage. I had it all planned out. Well, I thought I had it all planned out. One thing I didn't even consider was my opening line. Not what I would say, I had that down, but how I would say it. So the big day comes, I walk out on stage, grab the mic and say, "Good morning, so happy to be here." My voice came out sounding like raspy, high-pitched little girl. I was out of breath, anxious, and couldn't get enough volume, so my voice quivered as I launched into my introduction. It was a disaster. It took me a good 5 minutes to finally find my vocal stride and recover. But really, I don't think we can ever really recover from a bad vocal first impression. Here's the problem. We often prepare for our first few lines, but we rarely think about delivering those lines. You can say the greatest thing in the world, but if you sound anxious or breathy, or if you get that horrible vocal fry as you're speaking, then your charisma is shot. I do a vocal warm-up before every presentation, meeting, or speech where I am speaking for more than a few minutes to a large group. I want to teach you what you can do as well. Step number 1, loosen up and shush. The first thing you want to do is loosen up. Wiggle your shoulders, relax your neck, release your jaw. Take some deep breaths. This helps you shake out those nerves and creates more space in your body. This is really important to make sure you don't sound anxious or tight. Now take some deep belly breaths. Now, the trick here is to not breathe with your shoulders. So try to keep them down as you breathe. Good vocal breathing is in the belly. So instead of this, where my shoulders go up, I want you to do this, where my belly goes out and my shoulders stay down. The movement should be all in your belly. Put your hands on your belly and push your stomach into your hand, like a balloon filling up with air. Now try pushing the air out from your stomach all the way through the front of your mouth. Pretend you're a librarian shushing ornery students. Ready? Breathe in and shh. Remember, keep those shoulders down. Deep breath and shh. Now try to pump the shush. So this is going to get your diaphragm and lungs ready for pushing out lots of air as you speak. Taking a deep breath and do that once or twice. The entire step number 1 should take no more than a minute of shaking loose and deep shush breathing. Step number 2, tongue trills. Oh, this is a fun one. We are warming up your tongue, which is very helpful to have nice and loose while you speak. This is also a fast one. A tongue trill is this. Try it with me. Once you've done a few of these, now try doing some descending and ascending ones. So descending, ascending. Do these about 5 times each. Step number 3, hum it up. Humming is the next best way to warm up your vocal cords and mouth. The vibrations in humming are what's really important here. If you're speaking early in the morning, humming is going to be the most important for you. Start with the basics. Hold it for as long as you can. Try loosening up your lips and mouth as you do it, so you're not pressing your lips together. So keep your jaw and cheeks nice and loose too. Now go up and down with your feet. Do this about 5 times each.
Okay.
Hi there.
Here comes with the ads.
Are you a parent looking for a home-based speech? Step number 4, chant. Did seeing the word chant make you nervous? Yeah, this one is a little odd, but it's probably the most important step. We're going to say 4 words over and over again. They are meme, mime, mome, moon. These words go naturally right after you're humming because they all start with M. So start from step number 3, humming, and then slowly open your mouth to say these words like this. Me, my, mo, mo. Me, my, mo, mo. Try it with me after a deep belly breath. Me, my, mo, mo. Now go up and down with that. Me, my, mo, mo. Me, my, mo, mo. Do this for as long as it takes to get really comfortable resonance. You know you're warm when the sound is long and clear. When you first start, these might be a little raspy or rough. By the end, they should be nice and smooth. Me, my, mo, mo. Step number 5, pronounce. The last step is to get your mouth ready to enunciate your words and sound clear. we're going to add a P and a T sound to our N sound. So ma, pa, ta, ma, pa, ta. Try this with me. Ma, pa, ta, ma, pa, ta. Really enunciate those sounds and open your mouth nice and wide. Ma, pa, ta, ma, pa, ta. Do this 5 to 10 times and then you are done. Altogether, this shouldn't take more than 5 minutes. You can do a quick version if you're hiding out in a bathroom before a meeting, or a long version if you're driving somewhere. Here's the short version of my warm-up as a review. Do this with me now. The short vocal warm-up. 1, loosen up and shush. Shake it out. Deep belly breath and shh. Shh. Number 2, tongue trills. Descending and ascending. Number 3, hum it up. Now up and down. Number 4, chant. Me, my, mo, me, my, mo. Now try up and down. Me, my, mo, me, my, mo. Number 5, pronounce. Ma, pa, ta. Ma, pa, ta. Ascending, descending. Ma, pa, ta. Ma, pa, ta. And that's it. We're vocally warm. Please save this video to do before your next speech. You can even just listen to the audio while you're driving, putting on makeup, or getting dressed. Vocal warm-ups are pretty easy to do while multitasking. So if you're in a crunch, you always can try to fit it in. Know anyone who speaks or presents a lot? Send them this video.
All right, thank you. So yeah. All right, yes. So we've warmed up now. I was going to talk about the pronunciation. What you want to do with pronunciation when you're practicing is to exaggerate when you're practicing. It helps you to loosen your jaw as well. So when you're reading while you're practicing, exaggerate the pronunciation of the word, okay? It loosens your jaw. All right, that's another one that you can add to that. Okay, let's go to day 4. No, day 3. What am I jumping to? Day 3. Today we are recording. Are you ready with your recording apparels or equipment or gadgets? It's here. Is the screen clear? Can you see it clearly? No interruptions? Is it clear? No interruptions?
Yes.
Fantastic. Thank you. All right. So welcome to day 3. Today we are recording. So how many of you have your gadgets with you, whether you're using your phone or your laptop? Let me know in the comment section. Where is the comment? All right, fantastic. Okay, laptop, great. So for laptop, I'm sure you probably don't have, if you don't have your mic yet, that's okay. But if you have your earpiece that has the mouthpiece, then fine. But if not, you can just, if you're in a quiet place, it's okay. Audacity would capture your vocals directly. But if you have a mic, you can plug it in to use as well for the recording. But before we go into the practical of it, let me just run you through a little bit of different setups that you can possibly have so that at least you are aware of them, okay? So this is the foundation of the whole process. Like if you get it correctly at the point of recording, it makes the remaining process seamless. But if you are recording and then you have interferences and noise and clicks and pops, then it's going to be hard to remove, when you're editing. For example, some of you who sent in your recordings to the group, you see that there were pops. Pops or plosives, as they are called, come up when you're pronouncing the word P and B's, right? And then clicks are when you're doing the K and the T's. So when you're doing those things, if your positioning is wrong on the mic, it causes that, number one. And that's why you need such a thing called a pop filter, like what you can see in this picture on the slides. The microphone is there, and then you have the pop filter in front of it. What the pop filter does is it diffuses the P sound, the force that is coming, and it reduces that force to get into the microphone so that it doesn't spike, so that you don't have the pop. So because when you hear it, even if you listen to other people's submissions, you would have heard it. Some people had plosives, right? So we want to avoid it. So for example, we'll go by some of the standards, the requirements for Audible, for example. They will tell you no clicks, no pops, no interferences. So when you are recording, number one is to know that you need a quiet space. Now, ideally, you should be in a studio which is treated, acoustically treated. So the walls are panned, and so the sounds are covered. So you don't have interferences, right? Hold on, please. I'm getting this. I think I'm just gonna have to close my WhatsApp because it's distracting me. Sorry. 1 minute, please. All right. Sorry. Can you still see the screen? Is it still full screen? It's still full screen for you. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, because I can't see. Sorry, let me just. What's this? So I don't want all these interferences. Oh, I can't see my presenter's screen anymore. But you can still see the screen. Sorry, I'm gonna just stop this and represent it again. Oh, here it is. Can you still see the screen? No, right? Wow. Yeah, I need to stop sharing. I've stopped sharing. So let me just. Okay. All right, got it. Stop this. From here. Here. Okay. Thank you for your patience. There we go. We're good now, right? Can we see it now? Full screen, right? Okay, cool.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, so what are the options when you talk about recording and the different setups that there are? Number one is full studio setup, where you have the room treated. So you have the booth where the vocals happen, and then you have the room where you have the equipment, the mixer and the speakers and the other thing. But then you have the booth where you go in as the person recording, and then you have, so that's a full studio setup. And then you have the home studio setup, where you have maybe an extra room in your apartment that you can also just treat a little bit. You can treat your room a little bit. You can have, so rule of thumb is your whatever space you are using for recording in your home studio has to have things in that room that would absorb sound. So you don't want to use an empty room. You want to use a room that has furnitures, bed or couches. Then on the walls, you can have panels with sound. So there are panels. If you go to sound offices, they have this, foamy stuff that are good for absorbing sound. Because the point is you don't want your vocals bouncing or echoing. So if you have those panels, you can just place them strategically around the place where you have your mic so that they can absorb sound. So you can treat it fairly treated, but not as treated as a studio. A studio is fully treated. The wall to wall are being paneled to avoid sound from outside. But in your room, you can just do that basically, letting it have furniture and then paneling the area or the corner you want to use for your own recordings, okay? And then the last setup is the mobile setup, which is you actually don't have enough space or anything. So you only have a device that can help you capture clean sound, right? And I think that's what some of you might start with. But know that the end goal is either for you to have your home studio or a full setup of studio, all right? So here is what a full studio setup looks like. You can see the mixer, you can see so this is the room where the engineer would be, but then the audio, the person recording or the narrator will be in the booth where the microphone is. But every wiring is done in there for a full studio setup. But then this is your home studio. These are the things that these are the gadgets or the equipment that you need. For example, this Focusrite now is a total package. It comes in total package. The Focusrite you see here, it has a microphone, it has an interface, it has the XLR for the microphone, it has a headphone. This over here is a package on its own. It's called the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2, right? So it's a package. If you go on Amazon or you go on, I think they even have it on Jumia as well, right? You can get the whole package like that. So you get the mic, the headphone, the XLR cable, and the interface, okay? You can get that for your home studio. And then you just probably need to now set up your own small space, right, in your home. And other things that you might need in a home studio, even if you have this particular kit, you also need a voice shield. This right here is a voice shield. It's like a mini vocal booth, right? So when you have this setup, some of it it depends, they have different types. Some of it comes with a stand so that you're able to set it up and stand. But there's some that are just tabletop like this. So all you need to do is have a table in your corner of your room. Your room shouldn't be too big so that it is too echoey. So you know you have your bed, you have your bed there, you have probably a couch, you have a rug. The rug also helps in absorbing because tiles bounce off sound, they reflect sound. That's why when you go into your bathroom is all tiles. So it echoes a lot. It has natural reverb because it bounces back sound. So in your room as well, if it's tiles, then around the area where you want to set up as your studio, let there be a rug over there. Zazie, you have your hands up. Please go for it.
Yes, I just wanted to confirm what we have here being shared on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
I got that you were explaining the studio, you were describing the gadgets in the studio. Is that what you have on the screen at your end? Because what we have here is this is the foundation of the process. Is that the slide you're on?
Are you serious? No, I've moved.
Oh no, that's what we have here.
Oh, really? What's going on? Is it moving now?
No, not yet.
It's not. Oh, really? Oh my God, I've been moving since. So sorry. What's going on? Okay, I'm about to stop and share again. Sorry. Thank you for letting me know that. Oh, wow. So sorry. I've just been, oh, sorry about that. Okay, let's do it again. Let me just present. I'll probably share screen. How about now? Can you see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
You can see the screen now, right? Okay, so this is the foundation,
yes.
right?
Yes.
What are the options? Can you see this? Is it moving?
Yes.
Awesome. So thank you so much for letting me know that. Thank you. All right, so those are the options. And then you have, this is the studio setup, like I said. So you have the mixers, you have the computer and the speakers in the studio, and then you have the booth where the narrator or the voiceover artist is going to stay. This here, under here, I don't know if you can see my cursor. can actually still form your home studio setup, because this is a table, this is your computer, this is your mic, and this is a boom pole that is connected to your table. So this can also form, but studios also use this as well, right? But the equipment that you will now need for your home studio are these. So this is a focus, right? This is a whole setup. It's a kit that you can get as one package. It comes with a mic, an XLR for the mic, the user interface, and a headphone, right? So with this, you have your basic setup. And then I was saying that the other things that you will need together with this is this. This is your Vox guard or your voice shield. So it helps you shield your voice from interferences. So the noise from around would not get into your recording. And then you will just, if this is tabletop, some are made in tabletops like this. So you just put it on your table, but some have stands. So you can stand and have it cover your mouth area while you record, right? And then you need this. This is the pop filter. This is the pop filter. This filters, diffuses the P and the P and the B sound that comes. It diffuses it before it hits the microphone. And then so that the pops you have are not much. So a rule of thumb is when you're setting up, to avoid the pops, because sometimes when you're calling a P and in the middle of when you're reading, sometimes you get carried away and you don't even realize that you've said P or B or, and that force, and it's explosive. So to avoid that, so that to minimize or to manage that, ensure that there's a safe distance between your mouth and the microphone. And this is a rule of thumb. This, or you can actually use a pencil as well. You can use a pencil. The length of the pencil would also work. So use a pencil to measure between your mouth and the microphone. So this would be, if you have a pop filter, the pop filter will be here. And then your mic will be behind the pop filter. Or the pop filter can be close to your mouth. Then the distance between the mic and the pop filter will be this. So when it diffuses, before it gets to the mic, it has reduced all the plosives there. That's a rule of thumb that you can use to avoid plosives, and you really want to pay attention to it. So there's also a thing called click. I have a natural click. I think my jaw clicks when I speak. So I've noticed that in my recordings. So, but the good thing is sometimes it happens or it appears inside a word, and I can't avoid that word. I can't avoid when it happens inside the word, but most times it clicks just before a word. So when I am editing, I zoom out the wave, I can see the click. And so I can cut it out so that it doesn't keep going, because it's a continuous sound. So you need to pay attention to your own peculiarity. I don't know what yours might be, but just pay attention to yourself, pay attention to the way you sound, so that when you are given a natural interference, you are able to notice it and be able to deal with it. And that could be your breath. Most people, when they talk, like when they take in breath, is very audible. And when it is in a recording, it is even more audible because the microphone is very sensitive and it captures it. It captures every nuances, It captures every nuances in your voice. So you need to pay attention to those things so that when you're editing or when you're working with an editor, you can guide them to say, please pay attention to this, like I know. So for me now, if I'm giving my job to somebody to edit, I can tell them, oh, please, I have a click. So you need to listen for those clicks so that you can remove them. The ones that are that are sounding inside a word, you might not be able to remove those. But most times they are not much. They are always before a word, but you need to pay attention to listen to it. And not all of us even have, you need to pay attention. You need to look for it, otherwise you might miss it actually. But then at the end of the day is by the time the work is done, edited, mixed, boosted, sometimes it might become really clear, really glaring. And then when you're not listening and it just keeps coming back, you keep listening, you keep hearing that sound again and again. It's annoying. It gets on your nerve, right? So that's why you want to pay attention to those things so that you catch them early and begin to manage them, all right? So you need your pop filter and then you need your laptop for editing in your home studio, all right? Then the mobile setup. So the mobile setup is this. You need your phone, You need a good phone and that has space. So you need space on your phone, all right? You need space on your phone. But of course, even with your mobile setup, you still need your laptop for editing. You can edit on your phone, but it's going to be a nightmare. Imagine you recording a work that is like 2 hours long, and then you have to squeeze your eyes to edit on your phone. That's ha! You just give up. So you don't want to go through that stress. You need a laptop, really, right? But you can start with a phone. And if you know that, okay, a laptop is not in view now, that's where collaboration comes in. So you collaborate with somebody in the tribe to help you out with editing, or you can then, yeah, you have to collaborate on that. Or if you want to go through the stress of actually using your phone to edit, be my guest. But my suggestion and my strong advice and recommendation is that you need a laptop for the editing part of it, all right? Now, you have your phone. This right here is your closet. That's a trick. That's a hack right there. So if you have a closet, perfect. Especially if you have a walk-in closet, oh my God, that's a sweet spot right there. You don't even need a studio set up in your home. Just set up your thing inside your closet. When you want to record, shut the door to your closet, enter in there, chill, get comfortable, ensure that your clothes are closer to the mic so they absorb the sound and they don't. And because most times closets are always in the middle of the house, like they are neither close to the entrance or to the back. So they are not close to the outside. They're majorly in the room in the middle of the house. So they are far from interferences. Then the clothes in the closet also help with absorbing sound. So that's a perfect place to record if you have a closet. But if you don't have a walk-in closet, you might have a normal wardrobe. You might have a normal wardrobe. When we started as Mixi in 2014, 2015, I think we started operation in 2015. I think late 2015 or early 2016, our studio setup was in our wardrobe. In one of the rooms in my house, we padded the wardrobe, and then we will have, people go in there to go record. There was no window, nothing. So you have to come out every interval because you'll be sweating so hard in there, right? So we do that. But you don't have to do that if you have a wardrobe that has, a hanging system. And so you have clothes. You just need to push the clothes to both sides and set up your mic in the middle so that the clothes absorb it. So in such a way that you have to lean into the wardrobe to cut out the sound that are coming from outside, right? Another rule of thumb, I've done this, I've used this. So I have a very thick duvet. So what I do when I want to use my wardrobe for recording is I sit very close to the entrance of the wardrobe. I lean in, but then on my lap, I fold my duvet and rest on it. So the duvet also absorbs sound for me. So the duvet, I have the duvet on my lap, I have the clothes in the wardrobe, and then it actually gets the job done. So in such situation, it's just to ensure that there are no interferences from outside. There are no loud noises. So first of all, your room has to be quiet. And then when you not get into the closet, get close in there, it helps with the absorption of sound. But there is also this gadget because I'm upgrading my gadgets. And so I went to the store and I was looking, I wanted to get the normal Vox guard, but it's pretty pricey. And I was looking like, oh my God, I don't have that budget right now. And they're like, oh, we have a solution for you. And they showed me one. And I think, let me just show it to you. I'm not sure yet if it's in Nigeria, but this is it. So this is so cute, right? This is so cute. So the foam that you will use, the foam that they use for acoustic is the foam that they used to create this. And so what they did is, this is going to isolate your mic. So all you need to do is just fix your mic in it. So there you have it. So all you need to do is fix your mic through this hole. So the head of your mic goes in here, and then this would be your pop filter. And so you speak into this. But the way it is, it isolates. This is absorbing the whole sound. So once your mic is in here, even when I was asking, like they've even had review from clients who got it and actually recorded at a beach and it was clear because of this. So this will come in handy. We'll check if they have it back home. If not, maybe I can help you in ordering for some and sending it to Nigeria. So that would help. So in your room, if you have this now in the room, you don't even necessarily have to get into the closet because that will just be double padding. That will be double padding. So, but if you have this, you can just set up in your room, sit down on your table, put your mic in there. It isolates your sound. It isolates the sound that is coming from your mouth into your microphone. But just ensure that still the noise in the room or in the area is not interfering. So when you're recording, pay attention. You're not only paying attention to what you're reading, you're also paying attention to your surroundings. So for example, you're recording in your room and then there is the airplane passing. As long as you can hear it, the microphone can pick it louder. Because the microphone is super sensitive. It's more sensitive than our hearing, okay? So if you can hear the sound, it means the microphone can pick it. So your AC, your fan, if there is a car passing in the street and you can hear the just pause. Take that part again. So don't be weary of having retakes. It's better for you to have 10 retakes than have no retakes with an error that cannot be fixed. And so when you are done, you now come back to have to do that part again. It doesn't really help. So it's better for you if you just feel, number one, if you feel like you didn't deliver it well, like, oh no, I don't think that's the delivery. Take it again. Just do take 2. So that if you're not editing it, the person editing it will know that you did several takes and they can now pick the best one when they are editing. So when you are reading, you definitely make mistake. Even if you have read the book from A to Z, when you are narrating, you will make mistake. You will pronounce the word wrongly. You will pause in the wrong place. You would have finished reading a line. You would have finished reading a line one way, one particular way, and you realize, no, that's not what it means. That's not what they said. Maybe sometimes you are reading a dialogue and somebody was angry, right? And the other person was calm. So because you were reading the first person's line that was angry, you have the tendency of reading the other person's line as angry. Then when you don't read, oh no, that was a response to the first person. So you have to come back and change your tone and respond calmly. Sometimes you'd have read something straight and then the notes from the author she says heartily. So if you have read it straight, you can't leave it like that. You have to go back and now read it with a hearty laughter. Or somebody said she said it lovingly and you just read it straight. If you read that annotation, you go back and read it lovingly so that you can put the emotion to it. So don't be weary of reading or having retakes. It's better to have several retakes than have no retakes and then you will not be able to use your recording at the end of the day. So this is the Boya dynamic that I've introduced to you earlier, and I've shared the link with you if you're in Nigeria to go get it on Jumia. I think it's about 9,000 plus or 10,000 thereabout. So you can get yours, and it's really, 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 it comes in very handy. Even if you are recording outside on the streets and you plug it into your phone and record, it's clean. That's how I do most of my, that's what I use for most of my videos. And a lot of people are like, oh, your videos are so clean. They sound so clean. That's it. So it's very handy. Then this one is called Zoom. This Zoom, they have different types. This is HN1. I mean, it has one channel. They have H4, H5, H8. So they have 8 channels. So that means you can plug 8 microphones to it at a time. But for this one, you can plug 1 microphone to it. And what this does for you, for example, is if you don't have, even if you have a laptop, for example, you know that your laptop has a sound it makes. The fan. For some people, your laptop is noisy. It's like your fridge. If you have a noisy fridge in your home, in your room, when you want to record, please shut it down. Otherwise, the mic will pick it. If you have AC in your room, please shut it down when you want to record. Otherwise, the mic will pick it. The same thing with your laptop. So imagine you set up on your table in your room, and the laptop is there. You are reading from your laptop or you are recording into the laptop. You see that the fan, and the longer you work with your laptop, the louder the fan. Sometimes you just go, you can hear it. And those things will get into your recording, Okay, that's where this one comes in handy, because this is a recorder on its own. So this way you can actually plug your microphone directly to a Zoom, enter into your closet, record. It has a card, a memory card inside it. So once you bring out the memory card, plug it to your laptop, extract it, and then do your editing. And it's handy. Imagine you want to record, maybe you are somewhere, or you had to travel and you didn't go with your laptop, but you can, this is very portable. You have it, you have your microphone with you, you can plug in and get to work, right? So you can plug it, you can even record directly on it, but when you plug in a mic, it's even better. But you can record directly on it. It's a mobile recorder, and that way it has more. So this one, for example, now you can just get I think it uses the flash drive that most camera uses, the big memory card. So if you get a 32 gig, for example, you're good. So you can do a lot of recordings on the go. You can do a lot of recordings easily in your closet without worrying about the laptop. So all you need to do is your phone that has, or your phone or your tab that has the script where you can read from, and always remember to turn on flight mode so that you don't have interferences from notifications coming in and distracting you while you're reading. All right, so this is the mobile setup, and I reckon that some of us are going to start with this. But in place of Zoom, for example, because it's also an investment. So in place of Zoom is where you have the audio lab on your phone directly. And so the minimum investment you have to make now is the mic, is getting the Boya dynamic, so that at least you can have a lavalier to have a clean recording in. And then I already showed you the setup for the audio lab. All right, now the process. So in the process is the ambience, which I'm sure I've mentioned a lot. Your surrounding, you have to pay attention to it. You don't record in an empty room. You want to try as much as possible not to record on where there are too many flat surfaces. So you want your couch, things that can basically absorb sound, right? Sometimes there was a time when we didn't even have that stuff. So I have this room divider. I used to use it as my background. So sometimes what I do is I just make it into the boxes size, and I hang my duvet on it, and then I go into it. So it still absorbs sound a lot. So basically, you just need a space with materials that absorb sound, so that the room is not too wide and echoey, because you really don't want echo in your recording. You want it as clean as possible. You can add the echo at the point of editing. When it is done, you want to get as clean recording as possible at the point of recording, okay? Positioning, avoid plosives and clicks. I've mentioned that already. Delivery and flow, we've said a lot of that in yesterday's class during narration. Then the software you already know, Audacity, audio, Cloud Audio. Is it Cloud Audio? I've forgotten the name now, but I can share the link with you afterwards. Then you have the Audio Lab for Android, and you have the Record Pro for Apple Store. All right. Remember, your recording format is 441 for the 4.1 kilohertz and 16 bits for 4.1 kilohertz, 16 bits. Turn off notifications to stop you from getting distracted when you're recording. Have multiple takes so that you don't have to redo a particular part, because it will never sound the same, because the environment will be different, the flow will be different, the mode will be different. So you want to, as much as possible, have enough takes when you're recording in the initial stage. Then the format of export, when you are done recording using Audio Lab, for example, at the beginning, choose WAV and choose mono, not stereo. On Audacity as well, choose WAV, and no, Audacity records in WAV automatically, right? But choose mono, just record in one track. We're going to demonstrate that right now. So record in one track, and then for those who are using phone and then transferring it to Audacity later to edit, just extract it. Then when you're done editing, mixing, cleaning it up, adding little bit of effects here and there, which we're going to learn tomorrow, then you can export as MP3 file, which is now the finished product, right? So far, any questions before we get our hands dirty? Any questions so far? Any questions? No, are we good? We're good? You're ready to get your hand dirty? Are you ready? Woo! Put on those gloves right now. Let's get into business. Okay. All right. Now it's my turn to sit and watch and have you people do your thing. And when you have any question, holla at your girl and tell your girl, hey, EJ, I need you here and I'm going to answer you. But right now you've got work to do. So I need you to record this right now. I can do it too. Maybe I should even do my own too so that we can pair review. So I'll do my own too. I'll do my own too. So now let's get our hand dirty. I need you to record this. I need you to record this and then we're going to listen to it. Any question? I remember when I was in Lasco Tech in Lagos, we had this very funny lecturer, our accounting lecturer. Only one we say, any question, no question. He's the one that will answer. He's the one that will answer. He's the one that will answer. Any question, no question. We're like, guy, do you want to answer our questions or not? All right, so yeah. Are we ready? Let me check the time so I can give you time to go record. And then, yeah, let's do this. 15 minutes should be enough for you to record this. For you to even have 2 takes of it so that you can have extra takes. Okay? Let's do this. No. What am I doing? Let's do this. I hope you are working. We are recording now. I will pause the recording so that I'll pause this recording so that we can all work on our stuff. How do you pause? I don't want to stop share. I just want to pause.